going to be replacing this check rail on this window sash. You don't have to pull the window out to do it, but I'll show you how to get it out and then put the new one in that you're gonna make. Get it painted and get it glazed and back in a hole. Most of the time they're usually warped so bad they're not even barely holding the glass in, or else the glass has slid down. In this case, you can see at the top at the glazing, that crack up there means the glass has slid down a little bit. Most of them are a lot worse than this, so I thought we'd go ahead and fix this one now so we wouldn't have to worry about it later. And then we'll get into having to reglaze this window where needed, because all those little cracks that you see there is just an invitation to let water in behind there, and that's what causes these check rails to warp like they do. Alright, well, the first thing we need to do is over here in these corners there's a little nail, one on each side. We need to dig in there until we can find it and get them out. Okay, you can see that one nail where I dug in there and found it. They're usually pretty easy to find, just like that little area right there where there's some, usually the wood will shrink around any kind of putty they had over this thing 100 years ago. But anyway, we're going to dig in there and get that nail out. And the way you get these things out, you just okay, we got it started. Just grab a hold of that nail. Get her yanked out, and there she is. Okay, now we'll get over here and work on this other side and get that one. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just very carefully just knock each side down until we get that thing out of there. Oops, wait a minute, no, it's locked. I'm gonna have to go in there and unlock it. Okay, we got her unlocked. That's something that I'm glad was locked, just to kind of tell you, because I do forget about that all the time. All right, we're gonna knock this thing down. This one's sliding down, so this is going to take a few minutes. What we're going to have to do, we're going to have to get clean the glazing rail off, because that's what's holding that glass and pulling it down. Okay, I've got it started coming down, as you can see, to that one side. So we'll finish it up now. Okay, you can see we're going to have to, we've got about a 10-degree bevel on that side, flat. Got the glass rail, of course the bottom, and now we've got these tongues, the tongue and groove. We're going to have to milling. We can do everything on the table saw, and I'll show you how to set it up and get everything we need. And you always want to do 2 of them. I mean, you can do as many as you want, but I'm just saying you want to do 2 of them in case you mess the first one up, which I do a lot. Okay, we got the blade kicked over. Seems as though that this one is about 13 degrees. What you do is you put your piece in there, run it up against your blade, get the right angle, and just rip you a couple of boards out of whatever you're using. I don't have any redwood, so we're just going to use pine and then prime it really good, probably a couple of times. But let's get our first run. Okay, we got our first cut. Now what we need to do, see, with this one is just a hair bit taller. These are usually like 1 5/16 inches thick this way. Let's find out what it is. It is 1 3/8 inches. Okay, and the one we just cut is right at 1.5 inches. So we need to cut this down to 1 3/8 inches. Now get it off the top side, because if you get it off the bottom side, this distance here is going to change if you cut it off the bottom side. You want to get it off the top side, off this side. Okay, we got all that done. Now let's get all our measurements. Okay, the bottom overall shows to be 1 inch and a fat 9/16. Or I should say the top. This one shows to be almost a 9/16, so we're okay there. We're not bigger since this is a small end. Okay, the top we show to be 1 13 inches, and this one shows to be 1 13 inches also, so we're okay. Now what we need, the lengths. So it's just a matter of, you can see there's 2 lengths on this thing. There's a long one. That little point there, we'll never be able to get it right, so we're going to cut that off. So this will be the long point, and this is going to be our short point. So we need to get the length from here to the other end. And it shows to be, oh, if I can get some sunshine on this thing. Looks like 29 7/8, no, 29 5/8 leave the line. 29 5/8 leave the line. Okay, we'll get a couple of cuts out of here.